Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Mayor of Kingston blasts NSWMA over backlog in garbage collection. Parliamentary opposition concerned about the country's high import bill. And later in sports, Reggae Boys put on a show at the office to beat Bermuda 4-0. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kerry Simpson. Here are the details. Fresh concerns this afternoon about a potential health crisis in the corporate area due to the backlog of garbage in parts of Kingston and St. Andrew. Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swaby, is taking the National Solid Waste Management Authority to task over the situation.
There are ongoing issues with garbage collection across the municipality.
Members from both sides of the aisle reacting to Chairman of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, Andrew Swaby's address about untimely garbage collection by the National Solid Waste Management Authority in some communities in the municipality. Mayor Swaby revealed that some residents have complained of serious backlogs for close to 2 months.
This situation is unacceptable and poses both health and environmental risks. The National Solid Waste Management Authority is responsible for these services, but collection has not been consistent. I'm aware that NSWMA often points to the rainy season as a challenge, especially when accessing the dump. However, this should not result in garbage being left uncollected for such prolonged period.
Mayor Swaby said the KSAMC has also observed that the customary sweeping, particularly in the market district in downtown, has not been taking place.
As a result, the KSAMC has had to employ external support to keep the streets clean. What is even more concerning, councillors, is the suspicion that some persons employed by the National Solid Waste Management Authority to carry out these duties are being paid, but little or no work is actually being done.
He also acknowledged that residents have a role to play.
We have to acknowledge that residents make the situation worse as a result of the poor waste disposal practices. Residents have a role to play in keeping their surroundings clean. Proper disposal of waste and ensuring garbage is securely bagged are simple but important steps to help prevent the accumulation of garbage.
The mayor is calling on the National Solid Waste Management Authority's leadership to act swiftly. In the meantime, Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swaby, is sending a strong warning to the operators of delinquent car dealerships who are yet to pay monies owed to the municipal corporation for advertisement. Mayor Swaby revealed that at least 41 car dealerships are delinquent, owing a total of $1.4 million despite notices and repeated follow-ups.
Despite prior notices and repeated follow-ups, these entities have not met their financial obligation to the KSAMC. In keeping with our enforcement and compliance procedure, we will now proceed with the publication of these names. This measure is intended to uphold accountability, encourage compliance, and protect the interests of the public and the municipality.
A St. Mary businessman has been charged in relation to an incident that occurred in the parish during the general elections. Charged is 47-year-old Leon Campbell of a Gibraltar address. He has been charged with use of a computer for malicious communication and obstruction of an election officer. Reports are that on Thursday, September 4, during the recount of ballots for the St. Mary's Southeastern constituency at the Anata Bay Primary School, Mr. Campbell used his cell phone to record electoral workers while making statements alleging electoral misconduct. The statements, which were later uploaded to social media, caused the workers to feel intimidated and obstructed. Following investigations, Mr. Campbell was arrested and charged on Monday. He was granted bail in the sum of $150,000 and is scheduled to appear before the Anata Bay Parish Court on Tuesday, October 28. The parliamentary opposition is again raising concerns about the country's high import bill. In an interview with the TVJ News on Tuesday, opposition spokesman on agriculture Dr. Dayton Campbell highlighted the increase since 2016 and called for the government to engage farmers in a bid to ramp up production. He believes this could help satisfy local demand and also boost exports. The lawmaker argues that more needs to be done to reduce the country's import bill.
Are interested in farming, and even in the cases where some persons interested, they don't have the capital to start, nor do they have suitable plots of land, and even some of them, when they have the land, they do not have the necessary machinery to help to mechanize the farm so that they can be more productive. So agriculture, I think, has to become a priority of any government going forward, and I hope that over the next 5 years we'll be able to put some of our people to work and be able to produce more so that we can actually increase our export bill, earn more from export and cut our importation bill.
Representatives from several transport operator groups conducted a walkthrough of facilities in Eastern St. Thomas Tuesday. Now, this follows mounting complaints from commuters and operators. Here's Alia Bryant.
Representing Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Rosemary Shaw, Dennis Maraj, says the condition of the public sanitary facility poses a serious health risk to commuters.
It's a health hazard. Black, nasty, dirty water down there, broken culvert, there's no proper runoff, and to compound the whole situation, walking on rope road could be a death trap.
President of the Eastern St. Thomas Taxi Association, Kirk Brown, outlined what the Transportation Centre urgently needs to better serve commuters.
The bus stop or the covering and seating needed at this point. Also the lighting at night, that also need to be addressed.
A taxi operator expressed frustration over the state of the transport area, highlighting worsening road conditions that make daily travel unsafe for both drivers and commuters.
My driver come from that side. I only feel when the wheel just drop in our wall. It broke away with my car. Because it broke, it bigger make no damage to the car. I help other drivers have helped and take it out.
Meanwhile, President of TODS, Egerton Newman, says the group has spent over 2 decades advocating for a proper transport facility and is now calling on the relevant authorities to take action.
We can't take it any longer. All we're saying to the authorities, when we as taximen and busmen is involved in anything on the street, we've gone to court, we pay a bag of money. We are saying, give us the facilities to work with. And one of the most important facilities is a transport center park and pick up, not beside the post office, not beside the library, not beside the market, but our own facility, that the people who they are commuters will find us, and when rain fall, they have a place to shelter, and when sun hot, they have a place to shelter.
A meeting is scheduled by stakeholders to discuss these and other issues affecting the sector. Alia Bryant, TVJ News.
Members of the public now have access to another upgraded park facility. The Queen Hyde Pond Park in Discovery Bay, St. Anne, was recently declared open by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. It's the 14th pocket park of its kind in the island. The $3.98 million project forms part of the government's Urban Renewal and Development Project. That would be a program. The park aims to provide a space for residents to unwind, exercise, and engage in social activities.
Our new pocket park, which by the way is quite unique, and I believe it's the only pocket park of its kind. By the way, a pocket park is a small park nestled in a community which is specific for that community, with both the physical health of the community, but more so with the mental health of the community. It is absolutely important these days for people to have spaces where they can relax and recreate.
In response, Lorraine Phillip, the resident who envisioned the park and shared the idea with Member of Parliament Krista Lee, was elated to see it come to pass.
I'm glad to know that, then do a development like this. And a lot of people appreciate it because even Sunday, even a lot of people was out there around the pond sitting down, feeding the fish.
Where they got somewhere to relax, to walk away stress and leave the house. If they even host up the house, they have somewhere for nice to come sit down. They don't have to go down a discourage, they don't have to go nowhere. You know? Cool off a little steam and then go back home.
We feel big. We feel big to some of the communities they didn't know, so we feel big.
Drone technology used globally for mapping, deliveries and filmmaking is now expanding in Jamaica, including in Trenchtown. It caused excitement among community members who witnessed the launch of a new drone technology program at the Trenchtown Development Center. The initiative, the first of its kind in the area, aims to equip young people from inner city and rural communities with skills in drone operation and artificial intelligence. While access to technology remains limited for many inner city and rural youth due to the high costs and unreliable internet, programs like Bright Star is helping to bridge that gap.
The launch represents more than just a collaboration. It symbolizes hope, opportunity, and progress for people of Trenchtown. The Trenchtown CDC have always believed in the power of partnership to create meaningful change. When organizations like Bright Star join hands with us, we strengthen our ability to empower our young people, uplift families, and build a safer, stronger, more resilient community. We commend Bright Star to their commitment to developing their vision of investing in the people and the possibility.
It is time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It is now time for the Business Minute.
VM Financial Group has received an investment-grade credit rating from the Caribbean Information and Credit Rating Services, CARICRIS. CARICRIS assigned VM Financial Group ratings of JMA on the national scale for local currency, JMA minus for foreign currency, CARIB plus on the regional scale for local currency, and CARIB for regional foreign currency. This marks the first ever credit ratings for VM Financial Group and reflects what CARICRIS describes as solid credit quality nationally and adequate creditworthiness regionally. Further afield, senators failed to pass a short-term government funding proposal from the Republican Party. The stopgap bill needed 60 votes to pass, but it did not get enough Democratic support. Majority Leader John Thune voted no, so that it can be brought up for another vote. The bill does not address any of the healthcare demands by Democrats. The bill would reopen the government through November 21st. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Prince Moore.
Thank you, Prince. And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
In this evening's Health Report, we'll look at conjoined twins.
And once they were born, we essentially had them on the newborn special care unit for about several months. And during that process, and subsequently on the pediatric wards, we did what we could to identify the extent of their illness, mobilize a whole team, radiologists, endocrinologists, general pediatricians, cardiologists.
That's the Health Report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's Healthy Living tip. Early detection is possible. Specialized medical care is needed. Separation surgery isn't always possible, and support is important.
It's now time for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Trinidad and Tobago government is clamping down on illegal gambling, which Finance Minister Dave Tanku says is draining billions from the state annually. He told Parliament that underground lotteries generate more than $9 billion a year, crippling the National Lotteries Control Board's earnings. Under new laws, offenders could face fines of up to $3 million and 7 years in prison as authorities target tax evasion, money laundering, and other illicit activity tied to the trade. And on the international scene, tensions are rising between Afghanistan and Pakistan following deadly cross-border clashes that left dozens dead. The Taliban accuses Pakistan of carrying out airstrikes in Kabul and Paktika, a claim Islamabad has not confirmed. Meanwhile, Pakistan says Afghan soil is being used to launch terrorist attacks. The flare-up comes as the Taliban's foreign minister visited India, Pakistan's regional rival, raising fresh security concerns. Both countries have now closed border crossings as global powers call for restraint and dialogue. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aliyah Bryant.
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.